going on, everybody? Robinson DUP. I wanted to give you another of my Road to Pro debut vlogs. I just got a nice workout this morning in with my coach John and a couple of my teammates. We're getting ready for a powerlifting meet. I now officially weigh 182 pounds. I was actually able to shed about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds this week, babe.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I was sick for about 3 days. Thanks, babe. My wife was sick and passed it on to me, but it was my own damn fault because I wasn't sleeping a lot. I had a lot going on at work and kind of left myself open to getting sick. So I had the low carb, my rest days for 3 days in a row. I did not step foot in the gym, but I did go back today and actually felt pretty good. I did not go full bore just because I didn't want to, force myself too far after having 3 days off, but overall solid workout. Right before this video, you probably will be seeing a picture of my back and what it looks like. I was actually surprised when John took the picture that I'm that conditioned already and that lean. As a concern, I'm always concerned that I'm never lean enough. But honestly, I'm happy but not content. I still have about 8 or 9 weeks to go to get really, really dialed in for this OCB show, and then get ready for my pro debut at the end of September for the ANBF. That's all the boring information I have to give you, but I want to turn the camera over to my wife. We were talking about my prep and stuff, and I wanted you guys to understand that when you're in a relationship with somebody in prep, what their perspective is. So she'll tell you, I guess, the goods, the bads, and the uglies, babe?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. This wasn't rehearsed, so I don't know what she's going to say. Hopefully she doesn't beat me up too bad. All right, here you go.
Hey, everybody. So this is my second time going through a prep with Greg. And I have to be honest and say that it is pretty easy. The process is pretty easy. Coming from somebody that is also into fitness and into working out, I think that helps a lot because I understand the need and the goal of, cutting down and the want and desire to look a certain way. So having a partner, I think, that is on the same page with you and the lifestyles are the same, the hobbies and interests are the same, I think makes a huge difference. I can't say that for somebody who had a partner, a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend that was into fitness and the counterpart was not, if that would be easy, because that's not Greg and my relationship. We're both into it. This is our lifestyle. It's not just a hobby for us. So I can't speak intelligently about how it would be coming from somebody who wasn't sharing in the same lifestyle. I imagine it would be a lot more challenging to understand your partner's need to be in the gym as often as somebody who's competing is, the need to diet down, not be able to go out to eat as often or at all as it gets closer. I can see that would be kind of an area that might cause some conflict if the partner didn't understand that. But for me, it's been a pretty easy process. I have to say that Greg is not an emotional person when it really comes to anything, so there is no complaining.
Yes, I am a complete robot. Yeah,
there is no complaining that goes on. He looks at it as this is his decision to compete, so there's no need to complain. He doesn't say anything to me if I want to eat something that he can't have, or if we go out to eat. He is able to kind of gauge at this point. I mean, he's still 8 or 9 weeks out. If it's a high carb day like today, we kept his carbs really low for breakfast and lunch, so that tonight when we go out to dinner for my birthday, he can actually have some pasta or things like that and not be too concerned that he's going to be over his carb intake for the day. So with that regard, the lifestyle really is unchanged. He's in the gym the same amount of time, pretty much as often as if he was in the off season, which is pretty much the same time as I am, and I don't compete. So, there has to be an understanding, I think, on the partner's behalf too, that certain things. For example, my friend has a bachelorette party coming up in a couple of weeks, and they're going to Atlantic City and they're dining at Carmine's. I declined. It wasn't just for the girls, it was for couples, so it was like a combined bachelor party, so husbands were going. And I had mentioned it to Greg, and I said, I know you probably can't go, and he was like, no, there's no way for me to go that's a couple of weeks out. Carmine's family style food.
I said I could go, but what would be the scenario?
He would be sitting there watching everybody eat, and he wouldn't be able to eat. Or he'd have to sneak in a piece of plain chicken breast and put it on the plate and eat it while we're eating everything else. And, you know, in that regard...
And I would have done it.
He would have done it, and would I have liked to go? I would have liked to go. But I understand that really wouldn't be fun for him. So, you know, I respectfully declined and gave the reason why, and, you know, that's that. But you do have to be understanding, you know, we have a couple of weddings coming up, and thankfully chicken, pretty much plain grilled chicken, was on the menu.
Or fish,
but Greg's really not going to be able to eat so much when it comes to the cocktail hour, things like that. So overall, I think he's probably the easiest, one of the easiest, I should say, competitors out there in terms of his mentality and the way he kind of processes and goes about the entire process. He doesn't really get in his head. He just does what has to be done, doesn't really say go about it. So I don't really think that the relationship or the marriage has been impacted at all negatively for the reasons that I spoke of before.
Any physical concerns you have when I go through this?
Oh.
Because you were stating something the other day.
Yeah. Well, you know, Greg and I are usually extremely healthy in terms of, you know, thank God we don't really get sick very often, not even a cold. And I work around with kids, so that's something to pretty much be proud of. And I kind of attribute that to our healthy lifestyle and the fact that we keep ourselves in good shape and we eat right and we do, you know, everything that we're supposed to really do. But when he is in a depleted state, I do feel that he leaves himself open a little bit because he's really not getting the full amount, I should say, of nutrients that he's accustomed to getting. So I think it leaves his immune system a little bit open and more susceptible to getting, you know, getting a cold or getting a virus of some sorts, which is really, really not typical for him to do. We're getting this close, you know, 8 weeks out. I mean, it's still quite a distance out, and he's already like 182 pounds. He looks like he can step on stage pretty much next week and be a good contender. So it just a little bit concerning.
I always think I could do more.
Yeah, just a little bit concerning, you know, regarding the fact that he does get so lean and looks like, I mean, I was kidding with him the other day and I said, look, my leg is almost as big as yours. You know, I'm not used to seeing him like that, you know, all the time. So I'll be happy when he's reversing. Let's just say that, because he is, at this point, pretty much down, in my opinion, almost enough to be show ready. But I know that he wants to go a little bit further with it, so stand by as the supportive wife and let him do what he thinks needs to be done.
And what do you think about, like, how do I balance working out for contest prep and then, you know, our relationship?
I mean, pretty much I think the same, that it's balanced when you're not in contest prep. I mean, it's the same scenario. The routine is the same. We're up at 4 a.m. We're in the gym, or I'm in the gym at 5. Greg's on the bus at 5, and in the gym right when he gets off the bus in Manhattan. So our workouts are in the morning. Then we go through our work day. We come home. We're in bed at a pretty early hour, obviously, since we're getting up at 4. You know. So really not much is changed in terms of balance. I mean, he's not moody for the most part. You know, he doesn't go through mood swings, even though some days he's really down to like 160 grams of carbs on days that he's not lifting, or rest days, or just cardio days. And that is a big cut. I mean, I eat like twice the amount of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but, I mean, he does pretty well with that entire thing, and I don't really see much of a difference between that and when he's just working out to work out and not in contest prep.
That it?
That's it.
All right, guys, so that's my wife's opinion on it. I know a lot of you guys ask, how does my wife deal with me being on prep? I'm just a different individual than most of the others that you'll see. In terms of mentality, like my wife said, I make a decision that I'm going to do this, and because I choose to do this, I don't whine about it. I mean, I might have my moments where I'm like, you know, not feeling my best, or I'm a little low on energy or whatever the case may be, but I've decided that I'm going to compete. I've decided that I'm going to get on stage. I'm well aware of what the process entails because I've already done it before. And I just decided that I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to take out any frustrations, anger, or fatigue on anyone else around me. I don't think it's fair to do that to them. You know, my wife will be the first one to tell you there are days where I just say I'm tired, or I just need a couple minutes to myself to kind of, you know, get myself squared away. But I do a very good job, I think, of, let's say, not taking it out on you.
Yeah.
And if I am feeling a little grouchy for whatever reason, I'll kind of tell her, hey, listen, you know, my carbs are low today. And I'm pretty good with figuring out how to space that out. Even with 160, I take like a little bit each meal, so I feel like I have them throughout the day and I'm not, you know, feel like I'm starving or feel like I'm missing out on anything. I trick my body into getting what it wants over a course of time. And that's how I kind of, I guess, get around the feeling of the low carb feels, I guess, where you start feeling like lightheaded or drained. That's a little technique I've been using. But overall, I mean, you also got to remember this. A lot of people try to diet down for shows in, like, what would you say, 16 to 20 weeks, babe?
Yeah.
And especially if you're trying to get stage ready, 16 to 20 weeks is a natural. I mean, it can be done. Don't get me wrong, it can be done. I think my first prep was like 24 weeks.
Yeah.
Ever. But John and I have been dieting since November. If you watch my first vlog, right before Thanksgiving, I started bringing my calories down ever so slowly. And then around March or April, John started to slowly refeed me at a lighter weight, like almost like a mini reverse for about 4 weeks to bring my calories back up. And now we're coming back down again. And I think I've responded well just because of how long I've had to diet. It hasn't had to be as harsh a cut. We haven't had to do like excessive amounts of cardio in order to speed up the caloric burn, anything like that. And, you know, I think it's just about being smart and understanding the decision you're going to make. I get tired of hearing competitors complain about, oh, it sucks. Well, nobody told you had to get on stage.
Right.
If it sucks that bad and you're really not that happy doing it, then don't do it. I do it because I'm passionate about it, and for me, it's a challenge. And like I stated in a previous video, it takes a lot of discipline to do what I do, just like it takes somebody who does an Ironman a lot of discipline to do what they do. And you know, it's just a mindset that you have to have going in that it's gonna suck, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So that's about it, guys. Hope the video wasn't too long. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And by the way, wish my wife a happy birthday because I'm taking her out to dinner tonight. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.